It was a blessing to get this grant, but it also has been incredibly challenging to go from 0 to 60 in just a matter of weeks to get it going. So we were thrilled. We didn't want to miss a moment for your children. When we heard we got the funding, there's many folks that haven't even started implementation yet because they're still trying to figure out a lot of the details, and we didn't want to wait. So when we knew it was October and we were confirmed, we started in October, and we haven't stopped. And so part of today's discussion is to really talk about what's happened in the past few months that's been different with this work than other work that we've ventured into together.
We see CLI as structural change, systemic change. It's really three things for us that stand out about this program in the city of Newark. One is the level of information and data that they're able to share with us about the change that they can make at the individual student level, the school level, and the district level. Again, they're comparing those teachers who have gone through 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of CLI training versus those that have fewer years or no training at all, and they see a difference in the outcomes for those kids in those classrooms.
The problem with the school development literature is that it is both the problem and the advantage is that it's about school organization. The fact that the consortium has never, until this fall, done a single study on early childhood, never, not a single study in 20 years, tells you that they see school organization so well, they don't see youth development at all. They don't, and so what you guys bring to the table is this real focus on how do young people get good, right? How do they become healthy adults? And Kelly is absolutely right. You can be the beginning of writing a much more powerful story in this country and in these cities, and that's most likely to happen when we combine what you are already learning about youth development with what the research is learning about how schools get to be better organizations.
So you had a curious, reading professional given this job, and he responded by trying to figure out two questions. Why is it that our kids are not reading? Because he started with a truism. If you don't read and write well, you can't be educated. And then he learned something else. Second finding, the second truism to go with that. Reading is a habit that you learn early, and if you don't, it's pretty much over by the time you're 9 or 10. Kids who are not reading on grade level, by the time they're finished 4th grade, have only about a 1 in 10 chance of ever reading at grade level. That is why the first word you need to remember about this is urgency, moral urgency, that we cannot condemn 9 and 10-year-olds to a life of a blocked future if we have the opportunity to change that, and we do.
Just every single part of it was very intentional, very prescriptive. Whenever the teachers learned something new, we learned it. We were able to be told prior to what the teachers were learning. We were told, look out for X, look out for Y, the teachers will be learning this. So when we went into the classroom subsequently, after they'd go to their meetings, we'd be able to see evidence of what they should have learned. And most importantly, we'd see the evidence because the students were demonstrating those things. And we'd be able to speak to the things that they were actively learning and implementing, and the students, it was very cohesive. And I think it was, I would hope it was helpful for the teachers to know that we were on board, we were speaking the same language. Most importantly, it was wonderful to finally have an initiative where we had the kind of support where I could call central office and have administrative personnel who would come to my building, and we were all on the same page. We were able to discuss the same issues. They came in support of the same exact pieces of the puzzle, and everyone knew exactly what we needed, what areas needed to be implemented, and it was just very neatly done.
I was basically the teacher who taught in the front of the class and dictated to the class and told the kids what to do, and CLI changed that completely for me, where it became a community in the classroom rather than me up there telling them what to do. I was able to listen to them more. And if they said that they didn't, they didn't understand it, or can you spend more time, I would be more open to listening to that. And I think that CLI helped with that because, again, they built that community of, again, not being up there is listening and, having the kids have a say. And it created a safe place for them, I think.
I think the difference is that it's a for real, serious belief system as opposed to some good ideas. Like, what we had before at our other school was phenomenal, but it was little good ideas that happened here in this room or a good idea that happened here. But this is becoming just a belief system. Like our third grade teachers this year, this is the way they live in literacy. So it's just phenomenal. I can't wait till it happens in K1, 2, and see that all the way through.
I have to say for us in Camden, we as well have had several successes. We brought a lot of change into the district in a very short amount of time. But I think for me, having walked out of the shoes of a principal into this position, the greatest success is watching how our principals have grown instructionally and how they've embraced bringing this into their buildings. And I think for me, the best piece has been I was able to attend one of the sessions that they hold because they meet monthly, just the principals, with the coach to discuss some of the things that are happening in the district and to share some of their best practices. And it was just wonderful to hear the conversation amongst them and the differences, how they're perceiving things within their buildings. Each of them has a different setup within their school buildings and how they've been able to manage and really made key decisions around the teachers within the third grade team so that they would be supportive of each other. So I think for me, it's really our principals becoming true instructional leaders. I think for a long time we've given principals that title and not given them the supports to get them there. So I think in Camden at this point, our principals, specifically in these CLI schools, I can say literacy is a priority for them in their buildings. And since it's their priority, it's a priority for the community at large and for the teachers at large.
The work that we do with you is about the fact that teachers matter. As Jack said, books matter. The book that we're writing together with this grant matters. You heard from Jefferson that we're one of 19 winners that showed evidence. The country is looking to us to tell a different story. So my call to action to all of you is to continue to write your page, to write your chapter, to help us write multiple volumes so that this message of what's working is shared beyond these walls in this room today, beyond the walls of your districts. We are figuring out how to overcome the hurdles that we're experiencing right now. It's important that we continue that work together. So this is just one of the first one of our annual conferences that we'll have. We'll continue to grow this. We'll invite others into the conversation. But this information that we've shared today is not only going to be available to you online in a very short time period, but also the ideas are going to be shared to the larger educational field. That's what the I3 grant is all about.